Neo, Elastos, which one is better?
My name is Da Hongfei, and I'm the founder of an open source project called Neo. Neo is one of the oldest blockchain project in China. We started in 2014. Before 2014, I was working with a friend called Eric Gu. We started a group called Bit Angels Club, and we held a lot of meetups in China, in Shanghai. And then we come up with some idea. Why don't we build a blockchain and that works for crowdfunding? At that time in 2014, there is nothing called ICO. We don't even talk about blockchain. All we talk about is Bitcoin. What is Neo? Why we choose to build a different blockchain? So if you look closely at the logo, you will see Neo, and there is a fine print under Neo. It says smart economy. And what is smart economy? I tend to agree with Eric Gu about digital assets. I believe in the future, maybe in 5 to 10 years, all assets will be digital assets. There will, even those physical assets, they will have representative in a digital form. And then we can use smart contract to manage all those digital assets. So we can imagine if you have an apartment in Seoul, it's very expensive. But if you want to borrow loan from bank, you need maybe at least a few weeks and go through a lot of paperwork today. But in the future, if title of a department is recorded in a digital form and you can program it, then you can borrow from someone very instantly. Like it only takes a few seconds, and probably not from bank, but from some stranger across the world you never met with, and you don't need to trust him. So in the future, we believe the economy will be smart economy. But there is one catch. If today the blockchain, the market cap, the size of blockchain is already pretty big, if we want to grow 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times more, I believe we have to connect with real economy or traditional economy. So we need something more than smart contract, more than digital assets. But what is that? I believe it is digital identity. We need digital identity to map the physical asset to the blockchain asset. We need digital identity to map, to bring the relationship between people and people, or people and organization, bring it on-chain. So at Neo, the 3 pillars, the building blocks, the fundamental blocks are digital assets, smart contract, and digital identity.
My name is Rong Chen. I founded the Elastos project in year 2000. And the Elastos actually means 3 things. First of all, elastic compute, meaning we are going to build virtual machines all across the internet, across the web. Of course, a related project would be Amazon's elastic compute, which has the only virtual machines in the cloud instead of across the internet. The second meaning of Elastos is because of this operating system for the network, and we cannot have versioning, we cannot have device drivers, we cannot have daemons to make it safer, right? And of course, the third meaning of Elastos, it's more like a rubber, a virtual machine, a digital condom, so to speak. So then we can defend viruses from spreading. Because when we think about the value internet or the internet of assets, which is coming up, a lot of people talk about it related to blockchain, is actually we're sharing code peer-to-peer instead of sharing data peer-to-peer, which is the last internet. With the URL, you get a web page. Now with the URL, you get instant programs. And to get instant programs, of course, you need to have virtual machines in response to the spreading of viruses. That's why we need this novel new technology to prohibit applications from sending any network packets on their own. They have to be delegated to the network OS to send messages, any network messages. So then we hope to raise the bar for DDoS attacks, to middleman attacks or to viruses to a completely new level, so we can have a trust to share digital assets, so we can get payments or incentives peer-to-peer without intermediaries. So we want to build this decentralized internet. Then the miners actually are working there for a very simple reason. They want to get incentivized. And that said, the mining purpose, actually, the side effect of it, so then we can boot up an internet without middlemen, without those big internet giants. That's the only way we see currently. So then we have to have a ELA to reward the miners, which we're doing merge mining with Bitcoin community. Actually, the people who buy the mining machines, they can mine Bitcoin and ELA coin at the same time. We open to mining by the end of this year, 2018. Digital assets, as I said, people are now realize it's possible to share Bitcoins between one another without intermediaries. But then in terms of sharing digital assets, anything bigger than a number, anything like a blob of data, then we have to share the code as well, the code which interprets the data. Otherwise, there's no way we know who is taking advantage, who is manipulating the data. That's one way to explain what is digital assets shared on Elastos. The second reason we gave is the main chain is very pure and simple. It's only for the mining, so which is like gold standard of the internet, of the whole smart economy. And the applications actually on top would have their own set chains. For example, the websites, which is built out of consensus instead of built out of just one organization. For that kind of websites or sub-ecosystems, like we have gold standard, then we can build sub-economies. And sub-economy would have their own tokens or cryptocurrencies, so to speak, just like we have gold standard, then you have American dollar, then you have Europe, euros and Chinese yuan. And so basically it's a hierarchy, right? And not only it's for performance reasons, it's also actually true in real life as well. Then the side chains are actually built for sub-economies or the sub-consensus or sub-websites. We're going to have a single public chain, which is the Elastos Ledger public chain. But then we do intend to port other smart contracts, the virtual machines, like EVM for Ethereum kind of virtual machines on top of our side chains. Because we don't believe in running smart contracts on the main chain, because I believe the main chain should be part of the operating system, should be hidden from applications, from consumers. But then like websites, consensus-based websites, and the subledgers, which could be built on subchains with their own versions of smart contracts. So we're not going to invent many more of smart contracts on our own. We intend to support multiple different versions of smart contracts. If you think operating system, for example, they're going to support Java, C#, Basic, C, whatever the consumers prefer, the operating system will facilitate.
Personally, I really think Elastos is a better investment, but of course, Neo is equally a great investment as well. So I'm really going to go like 75-25%. Let me know what you think about these projects. What flows do you think they have? Without further ado, it's been your boy MUNA, and hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit later. So be good, stay profitable, and be blessed.
Said she wanna rock with a nigga like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with a nigga like me. We can catch a fly. Said she wanna rock with a nigga like me.